안녕 everyone. So let's find the distance between each pair of points. Make sure check with your work and fix your mistakes. Number 1. So first I will writing the distance formula d equal big square root with the x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Tips for preventing mistakes: label before you start. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's plug in all the number we have. So d equal square root, x2 is 3, x1 is negative 4. So 3 minus negative 4 square plus y2 is negative 7. So negative 7 minus y1 is 6. 6 square. So let's calculate. Negative become, that's right, become positive. So this will be square root of 7 square plus negative 7 minus 6, that will be negative 13 square. You can try without calculator or you can use calculator. It's up to you. So that will be square root 49 plus 169. That will give us 218. So d equals square root 218. We still have the last step, simplifying that 218, square root 218. Let's see what we can do. So let me break it down, maybe with the 2. So there will be 109. Can we break it down 109? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna leave that as the answer, final answer. Since we don't have any perfect square number within 218, we can just leave it inside of square root. If they want us to writing the answer as an estimate, let's see, nearest to 10th place, then this will be, put it into calculator, you will get it 14.76 . However, we only need to writing on 10th place. So in order to do that, we need to check the 6 is greater than 5. So it will be 14.8. So I'm just giving you some examples. Sometimes they will ask us the estimate number. Then you should be able to do it as well on your calculator and round it up correctly. Let's move on to number 2. So first I will label it x1, y1, x2, y2. So put it into distance formula, d equals square root. The first one is square of subtraction of x's and adding second parentheses square of subtractions of y's. So let's plug in the number. So x2 is 2, x1 is negative 6, y2 is 0, y1 is negative 5. All right, negative become, that's right, positive. The next part is the same. So put 8 square plus 5 square. 8 square is 64, 5 square is 25. So d equals square root of 89. So if you estimate to the tens place, it's gonna be 9.4. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, x1, y1, x2, y2, and d equals square root of x's and y's, and then we're going to subtract them. So the first number, that's right, 1 minus -1. So let's put it positive symbol already. And y2 is -1 minus 4. So put it into calculation. That's equal square root 2 square plus -5 square. 2 square is 4. -5 times -5 still make to the positive 25. And you combine d equals square root 29. Yes, if you put it into calculator, estimate to tens place, it will be 5.4. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4, I'm gonna skip the first step. Once you get used to it, maybe you can skip a step or steps. So that is a square plus square. So the first number, x2 is 3, x1 is 0, so 3 minus 0. x2 is -2, and x1 is -8. So -2 minus -8. So negative become positive. So d equals square root of 3 squared. Make sure you combine correctly with the number sign. -2 plus 8 will give 6 squared. So that will be 9 plus 36. So d equal square root 45. Can we simplify 45 with a square root? So 45, 2 factors of 45, 9 times 5. That's right, we found the perfect square number 9. That's square of 3, right? So that means 3 can get outside of the square root. So 3 square root 5. So if you estimate that will be 6.7. Now let's practice on coordinate plane. First, I will label each point. It doesn't matter which one you choose as a first point or second point. So on the right side, I put P1 for first point, P2 for second point. So it will be x value is 2 and y value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And P2 will be its left side, so it's a -6 and -2. So once you found the point, guess what? We're gonna put it into the formula. D equal the big square root with the first subtraction of x squared plus second is subtraction of y and square. So the first number, that's right, -6 minus 2. So I use the first x is for subtraction, and then next one I'm gonna use the y's for subtraction, which will be -2 minus 7. So now you know even it's a negative number of the square, it will come out as positive number after you square them, right? So -8 squared plus -9 squared, which will be 64 plus 81. And that is d equals square root 145. So if you're not sure that is the simplest form. You can always try. Let's see if 145 has any perfect square in it. So 5 times 29. So 5 and 29, they are prime numbers. There is no repeat numbers. That means no perfect square numbers. So we're going to keep it as a square root 145. If you're going to estimate, that will be 12.0, which is eventually just 12. All right, now the last one. So we have a point H and point G. So point H will be x value is 0, y value is positive 3, and G is negative 2 and negative 3. So I'm going to use H as my x1, y1. G is x2, y2. So let's put it into the formula. D equal the square root of subtraction x's and y's and square them and combine them. So first number we're gonna use is negative 2 and 0, right? So negative 2 minus 0. And next number we're gonna use is negative 3 and 3. So negative 3 minus 3. So D equals square root negative 2 square plus negative 6 square, which will be 4 plus 36. So D equals square root 40. And let's try simplify square root 40. So 40 has a 2 factor of, yes, we can do 4 and 10. There you go. We already found the perfect square number of 2's, right? So that means that we can put it as 2 square root 10. If it was asking estimate, let's do 10th place. That will be equal 6.3. All right, guys, great job. If you have any question that you didn't understand, make sure ask to Mrs. Contreras. And if you got it all correct, put it onto your interactive notebook. Now, let's move on to midpoint formula. I'll see you later. 안녕!